Hare Krishna. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act but a habit. Aristotle. When we see some people who are brilliant performers, be they in sports, in singing, in dance, in acting, even in computer programming, in teaching, in leadership, in mathematics, whatever field it may be, when we see some people who are excellent performance, we are often dazzled. How can they do this so well? And most often, when we see our inability to do anything even comparable remotely with what they are doing, we start thinking, these people are phenomenally talented. And it is because of their talent they are able to do such astonishing things. And yes, there are people who are extraordinarily gifted, and their excellence could be partially attributed to their talent. But at the same time, it's not talent alone, because it's more of their commitment. When we do something repeatedly and each time try to do it as well as we can, then by that we keep improving steadily. Some players, say for example in tennis, are almost like serving machines. They just serve so effectively, ace after ace after ace, or unreturnable serve after unreturnable serve. And how do they get to that level? That is because they practice their serve so much. Or consider for example an archer. There are some archers, we may see them in the Olympics match, and they just hit the gold medal. They get the gold medal by hitting the bullseye. Now how did they get to hit the bullseye? It was not that the first time they picked up a gun and shot and they got to the bullseye. They practice hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of times, and each time aiming as carefully as they can. And slowly they move from the outer periphery of the outer circle to some periphery to the inner circle, to a still inner circle, and eventually they get to the bullseye and they get to the center of the bullseye. So like that, we all become improved by regular practice, and excellence is a result of that practice. And the practice is not just something which is effortful. Over a period of time, the practice becomes a habit. Now from the spiritual perspective, we understand that we are spiritual beings, and as spiritual beings we are encased by coverings. There is a physical covering of the body, and there is a mental covering, subtle covering of the mind. Now whenever we do some actions, there is some training of the body which enables those actions to be done. Say for example, a tennis player, will toss the ball in a particular way, will move the hand up in a particular way. So physically the body has to be trained and tuned to function in a particular way. But more important than the physical training and tuning is the mental training and tuning. When, say, if there is a soft path and a truck goes on that path, then the marks of the tire of that truck are formed on that soft path. Now if the truck goes repeatedly again and again, then those grooves can become almost like permanently formed on that track. So similarly, we consider our mind to be like a track, and when we do some activity repeatedly, each activity that we do, especially an activity that involves intense attention, intense emotion, intense intellectual thought processing, then that creates a groove, a mark on the track of our mind. And if there is a groove on the floor, then water will naturally flow along that groove. So similarly, when a particular groove is formed in our mind, then when our thoughts have to move, our thoughts move naturally in that direction, without much effort, without much endeavor, just naturally move along. So what in the initial stages of our life may seem very effortful, that becomes over a period of time effortless, and becomes effortless because of our steady practice. So excellence is not something mystical or unattainable. Yes, particular levels of excellence may be reserved for people with particular levels of talent. But in general, from wherever we are right now, we can improve, we can become better, and we can become excellent according to our capacity. And that will happen when we train and tune our body and train and tune our mind. Essentially, habits are nothing but training and tuning of our body mind complex. And underlying this training and tuning is intention. So, when we focus on focus intentionally, conscientiously on a particular activity that needs to be done, and then do it, investing our consciousness in it, then that enables us to do it better and better. The Bhagavad Gita is spoken to Arjuna, who is the quintessential archer, the archer par excellence of his times. And he became so by repeated practice. One of the names of Arjuna is Gudakesha, one who has conquered sleep and ignorance. How did he conquer sleep and ignorance? Because all day he would learn archery and all night he would practice archery. By the diligence to practice in a mood of devotion, was he able to transcend the the bodily limitation of needing to sleep. So thus actually it was his focus that transformed him. It was his purposeful engagement that transformed him. And he was an excellent archer, but there's a ethos, a habit of disciplined practice, disciplined application of what one had learned that made him the kind of archer that he was. Similarly, in whatever vocation we have, we can uh, acknowledge the role of talent, and if somebody has a phenomenal level of talent, we can appreciate that, we can admire that, we can think, how powerful, how talented this person is. That is one way of looking at it. You can see how kind Krishna is, that Krishna has gifted this person with such amazing talent. And whatever talents we have, if we persevere in our practices, striving to move forwards with diligence, we'll find that we too will become excellent. Thank you. Hare Krishna.